In the last lectures, we have covered the practical approach of the PySpark, how it will deal with the data frame and all. Now we have to study how PySpark works internally. What are the main components of the PySpark? These are the main components of the PySpark. Whenever you write any PySpark code, it will initialize the Spark session. The Spark session is the entry point to the Spark engine. It will define the configuration of your Spark job. Everything will be defined in it, and that will initialize the Spark context automatically. What it will do, it will define the important things, important parameters of the Spark engine, and that will be stored in the Spark context. Usually, Spark context is created automatically. You have to create the Spark session. In return, Spark session will give you to the entry to the Spark engine, and also it will provide you the engine to run your PySpark job, and that engine is the Spark context. Then driver. The name suggests it will drive your complete task or the complete activity. It will divide your task into your activity into multiple tasks and will assign each part to the different executors. So its main work is to divide your activity or divide your request into multiple subtasks and then accumulate the final output. Executors work under the drivers. Whatever task driver will send to the executor, these executors will execute those tasks, and in return they will provide their output to the driver, and then driver will arrange the output and give it to the user. These are the small tasks which executors will work upon. Then partition. Whenever data is very large, we usually divide the data into small parts. Just like we have divided the main activity or main request into small tasks, similarly we have divided the data into small parts. That is called the partitions. Let's deep dive into each of the components. Now, question arises, can we change the component? Yes, some components are changeable, some components are not changeable. Let's see one by one. For example, driver is partially changed. Executor, we will see it later on. Tasks, we don't have the control. Partition, yes, we have the control. So let's start some practical, then we will understand each components in the detail. First, we have imported the OS and the SYS. These are the common steps which you have to run in each of the PySpark notebook. What we are saying, we are initializing the PySpark Python and given this address, and same here, and we are running the Spark engine, or you can say Spark job, in the local host. This will signify the local host, and also the name is localhost. These are the common things. Now first create the Spark session. The Spark session is the entry point to the Spark engine. First you have to create the Spark session, that will in return create the Spark context. Let's see what are the components inside the Spark session. This is on the name. This is the local one. Local one means we are defining the executor. We will understand this in the detail when we will study the executor. Then config, we are saying that yes, we don't want to use the worker every time. Then again, localhost is the driver host, and we are assigning the address as the localhost. These are some common things which you have to apply every time. So see, when you want to check whether your Spark session has been initialized or not, you will run the Spark, then this is the entry point. Inside it, automatically Spark context is generated. So you can say the Spark session will initialize the Spark context in automatic way. Whatever parameter you will define will be stored inside the Spark context. You can assume like a Spark session is the key to the car. When you start your car using the key, then these are the specifications of the engine and everything inside that car. Now access the Spark context. We have stored the Spark context in the sc variable, then sc.app name. We have defined these parameters just above. sc.master, sc.version, and sc.application id. These we have not defined, but these are available inside it as a parameter. not the parameter, you can say the details. It is telling you the version and it is telling you the application ID. Now first step is to understand the driver. After understanding Spark context and the Spark session, see what is the main task of the driver. Driver will learn the main program, okay, first thing. Then driver will create the Spark session also. Then it will build the execution plan. You can say driver is the manager of the team. It will define the complete process and it will divide those tasks into multiple executors, or you can say resources. It will divide the tasks and then those tasks will be sent to the executors and then it will correct the final result. So it's a work of a manager. Driver is nothing, just a manager of your Spark job. It will divide your task into the multiple executors and after the task is completed, it will correct all the details. We can specify the driver memory here. .config spark.driver.memory. Where we have defined this, let's go up here. Here we can define this. Just next step, you can define the configuration of your driver. 2G means 2 GB. You can assign as much as GB according to your need and according to your system specification. Now, executor is the, you can say, resource or the employee which is executing your task which has been assigned to you by the driver. In the local machine, it usually creates on its own. Okay, we don't have the control over the executors directly, but we can control how many workers can be generated. For example, local 1 means we are the 1 worker, local 2 means we have 2 workers, local 4 means we have 4 workers, and local all means all available cores. See, here we have defined the local. For notes, you can download the notes from my GitHub profile. Easily you can access the GitHub profile. The link is given in the description. Now partition. When we have the huge data, or just we can divide the data into multiple small parts. Just we have to specify how many parts we want to divide. To check the number of partitions, what we will do, df.rdd.get number of partitions, there will be 1. By default it is 1 right now. Using the repartition function, we can manually divide our data into as much as partitions. So here what we have done, df.repartition 4 means a new data frame will be created with 4 partitions. df.rdd.get number of partitions, it will showcase you the original partitions and then new partition will be here. df4 partition.rdd.get number partitions. As we know in the earlier lecture also we have discussed, data frame is immutable. Once it is created, we can't change or alter anything there. What is the coalesce? Repartition is used to increase the number of partitions. Coalesce is used to decrease the partitions. Syntax is almost same. We have defined the we have changed the 4 partition data frame to the 1 partition data frame. This is some theory part you can study. Now task is the small unit of the work which has been assigned by the PySpark job. So we don't manually create the task, we create it automatically. Once we have triggered any function like count, so it will trigger your driver and everything task. Okay, thank you. For any doubts you can ask me in the comment box.